Alright lads, we're going to go back in time a little bit here and witness a game between Fufu Hunter, playing as his commander knob, against the bro cap of Flynn Stone. Guys, I don't remember the last time I seen a bro cap. I don't know what's going on, but Auto Malleus are extremely rare at the moment, so we'll see what Flynn can offer. Traditionally the commander knob known to be the weakest of the Orc heroes against any of the Marine style factions, be it Auto Malleus Space Marines or Chaos Space Marines. The commander knob can struggle because he's got no control really for free model melee squads. And this very powerful twin link shooter, which is equivalent in DPS to the Tech Marine and has 100% fire on the move but slightly less range, is a lot less effective against heavy infantry like the Strike Squad, the Interceptors, the Tactical Marines, the Raptors, the CSM and the ASM. But to compensate for that, Fufu is going for not two shooters, because he's already got a lot of piercing DPS from his commander knob. Instead, he can pick up a couple of sluggers. In particular, once they pick up their burners or their knob leader in tier 2, they get access to a lot more power melee, which has a bonus against the heavy infantry strike squad. So generally, shooters to kill the inquisitorial Yumis, the superhuman Grey Knights, you need a bit of Orc melee to deal with. And yeah, shooters can just run up and punch IST to death, as you would expect from Orcs. Now it looks like the commander knob here has just been a bit of a nuisance. Flintstone is actually dedicating his strike squad right now to try and deal with him. Honestly, just forget him. He only caps at the same speed that the strike squad do, but the strike squad are more expensive. You know, they've got more utility, I suppose. I mean, technically you don't pay anything for the K-knob, but this squad is basically the price of two squad of Orc boys with no upgrades, so dedicating the one strike squad to deal with the one hero, and then leaving two squads to roam around uncontested, feels pretty bad, and a little bit of a micro error there from Flynn. I don't know, this is kind of risky. Okay, he will get his IST into the building there. Man, they lose 3 models. I was going to say, if burners are on the way, this could be the end of the IST squad, but they're going to get saved by the purgation coming out of the base. Quite fortuitous in the timing there. Looks like the sluggers probably will finish off the power node. Purgation going to get closer to do more damage. They do have proximity based damage like a setup team. Obviously nowhere near the same level of damage though. Look at this. Somehow the commander knob managed to get killed over here. How the hell did that happen? I don't know, I guess he was really pushing his luck with very little HP trying to get in the garrison and didn't quite make it. No doubt due to the snare on his movement speed with the energy burst ability that you gain access to once you have the Tomes of Titan. More melee is on the field though for Fufu, this time some Stormboys. Stormboys are kind of the bane of OM. They're not amazing as a squad individually in terms of fighting off Grey Knights, but the thing is, they're really not that expensive, and given the price, they're very, very effective. Very good against Purgation too. But the nice thing about the Stormboys is they've got more HP than Sluggers, and every single Stormboy does power melee. So yeah, cost effectiveness in tier 1 against Grey Knights, very, very good. Honestly, like double Stormboys would not be that crazy of a build. We'll see what Flynn does to counter it. You know, you've got an option of operatives with their shotguns could do something. Counter initiate them with incendiary grenades, combine it with the energy burst. You can get more strike squad. Not really very cost effective to trade into Stormboys though. Interceptors would be even less cost effective. Oh well, this is a counter. Picks up the Bulwark accessory, which gives the Bulwark ability, which grants melee DR and a plus damage boost to one targeted squad. So you drop that on the strike squad when they're dueling the Stormboys, and they'll go from trading very poorly to trading very effectively. A little bit of a micro error there though from Flynn. Now the Purgation find themselves caught in melee. They're really bad with line of sight blockers. They're rushing for their garrison, and that is going to cost them their life as they get knocked over by a special attack. Meanwhile, the brother captain is quite low, but the Stormboys did have to jump away there. They didn't want the fight against the strike squad. Presumably they had the Bulwark, I'm not sure. Yeah, Purgation get wiped. That's pretty rough. Commander Nob still in play. Commander Nob should be hunting down the IST. I mean, every single burst of his twin link shooter, he'll kill an IST, so that's going to be kind of brutal. K-Nob revealing himself to shoot with the strike squad, but gets energy bursted for his troubles. With the K-Nob firing in on the strike squad, I'm pretty sure the burner sluggers can take this fight. This is not full HP strike squad either. Yeah, for sure. Now there's a looter coming along. God damn. Yeah, I guess that's an interesting way to elongate the tier 1. Now, Flintstone has a way smaller tier 1 here. Oh no, he doesn't. What am I talking about? He's just got interceptors. I forgot he's lost his purgation. So this is a new squad. Interceptors. Yeah, oh, well, look. It's going to counter the looter, isn't it? But as I said, it's not really cost effective against the Storm Boys. Honestly, it's not really cost effective against burner sluggers either. So in spite of the K-Nob himself not having a lot of assets to deal with melee units, his army right now does. This is a really good comp against OM. So it'll be interesting to see how this falls apart. I mean, handing about these stick bombs, we'll see how they do. You've only got one big shooter aiming what stat suppression to combine it with, so they might do a lot of misses. In theory, if you go point blank with the IST, you throw your sticks down, if they're blobbed up correctly, you can wipe them instantly. They've only got like a second to react. We'll have to see. Flynn quite outnumbered at the moment, 5 units to 3. He's got the bulwark there on the strike squad, but that was a bit premature. They're only fighting shooters right now, so it doesn't really seem like it would be necessary. Yeah. That's not good. Walking into the suppression arc of the looters and all this melee around, still Commander Nob lurking to shoot them. Flynn gonna have to fall back, regroup his forces to defend his gen farm, because we could have a big timing push onto the farm here. And remember, we've got double burners up here, so they can gen bash very quick. Shooters, even though they're not a dedicated gen bashing unit, they're very good at it just because they've got a lot of damage, especially with their big shooters. Big shooters equal big damage. Nearly caught the Commander Nob there. Good retreat timing from him. If he did get knocked over by that teleport, then that would have been the end of him, for sure. Interceptor's going to go over to the natural VP, try and make back some of that VP losses that Flynn has just started incurring. Looks like he was winning on the VPs before that, though. He's got a little bit of a lead. It's going to fall quite fast. Where's the strike squad gone? Oh shit, the strike squad's ran off to the side. Oh, this is a really bad idea from Flynn. I'm not sure why he would send the strike squad off to the side to cap, and not the ISC, who are by far the least effective combat unit at the moment. You see the Storm Boys even ripping the Brother Captain to pieces. Unlike the other heroes, the Brother Captain doesn't have anything that can deter melee. No knockback on demand or spike AoE damage. He does have splash damage on his melee attacks when he has activated We Are the Hammer, which can help him duel one melee squad, but yeah, against a whole swarm, he's extremely vulnerable. Just going to throw in some sticks here and potentially kill his own Storm Boy. Oh, he lived. Okay. Fair enough, it delayed the cap. Mind Blades after the interceptor jump and a little bit of a banishment. Going to kill the Commander Nob here for sure. Even if he retreats straight away, that might have been a kill. And really interesting to see that Flintstone's first purchase upon really, well, not really fast decking, I guess. He did go for Purgation and Interceptors. I keep forgetting that this is not the only unit he's got. He did purchase Purgation, he just lost them so fast. Did he? Does he have... Wow, he doesn't even have the Justicare. He's getting very lucky with his special attacks, but this is a really, really brave fight. Does he not have a Sanctify Global to give more energy to the Interceptors to then teleport? What is he doing? Is he going to lose them? He must be losing them. What on earth? He loses his Interceptors. Oh no, that's terrible. Does kill a Shooter Boy and a Slugger, but he loses his Interceptors. That's pretty rough. Both players actually have quite a stockpile of resources, which is kind of hilarious to see. Flynn is going to go for another strike squad. I actually think this is quite a good idea. Then again, now he's in tier 2, he could probably just get another Purifier squad. Well, not another, but a Purifier squad. The Terminator Librarian choice is really nice here, because Fufu had 3 melee units, and the Terminator Librarian basically is a sub-commander dedicated primarily to dealing with melee units. He has minor synergies with setup teams and synergies with melee. With Might of the Titan, which I believe is active right now, all the nearby melee units will get bonus melee skill, and I'm not sure, it's either extra melee damage or melee damage resistance, one or the other. Either way, going to help them dominate melee fights. Beautiful special attack there from the Librarian, quite hilarious to see. Now going to pop out the Sanctuary to yeet these guys, throws off a Smite, kind of misses everything because everyone's already got thrown aside by the Sanctuary, but the Terminator Librarian needs to retreat. He's quite low on HP. This fight would have been very different if the Brother Captain himself actually had an upgraded melee weapon. Still relying on just his default power sword is not great. Special shooter on the commander knob. I mean, yeah, it's okay, I guess, but probably wouldn't prioritize that. I think Fufu needs some more units out. Does have a Death Dread. That's going to be somewhat of a challenge. There's no AV yet for Flynn, but he's floating a lot of requisition as Flynn. He can probably just get a Vindicator Assassin, can't he? And then he can infiltrate the Vindicator Assassin even when it's out of cover using the shrouding ability of the Terminator Librarian, which also simultaneously gives the Vindicator a buff to damage, which is, yeah, a really good combo, to be honest. Oh, he cancelled the secondary strike squad. Maybe he wants to drop down some more gens. Probably is wise. Very low on gens. No Justicare yet on the strike squad, but I'll tell you what Flynn does have. Well, he did have a triple cap. He's still got a 2-0 cap. Fufu may have let the IST just cap this point in front of his infiltrated looters. I think so, because I don't know why they would infiltrate next to the VP if they didn't own it. That would be quite silly. So some pretty major micro errors there from Fufu. Now, one of the advantages that Fufu will have as this game continues to progress is the hide the boys infiltration. The Automalis can only detect things with their inquisitorial operatives, and of course Flynn has none. So it's going to be quite easy for him to ambush squads with infiltrated melee units. Caught the looters out there without setting up. Wouldn't have been a huge deal because the Brother Captain is immune to suppression, so he could have charged in, but at least you would have took off some damage from the Brother Captain before he got into melee. And it looks like we might have a Las Cannon Rhino coming up, which I think is probably not preferable to a Vindicator Assassin. The Las Cannon Rhino, I mean, at least the Commander Knob himself can't get any AV. Certainly if this was a mech, you would definitely not go for a Las Cannon Rhino. But still, it doesn't do a lot of damage per hit, to be honest. Pretty sure its DPS is even lower than the Vindicator. And it's a whole lot more vulnerable. It's already a looter. You can grab a... Oh shit, there's already tank busters preemptively. Wow. That's a bold play, but one that is likely going to work. I don't think Flynn's seen those preemptive tank busters, so yeah, they're already going to be there. Damn. That's going to be challenging. Because he doesn't have interceptors to immediately jump onto those tank busters. Of course, he's got 2 of these dudes here in Terminator armor that can just charge forward and immune to knockback to tie them up, but that'll take time. There is potential, of course, for a beamy death gun on the looters. Okay, this is now looking like a precarious situation for the Inquisitorial Stormtroopers, but Fufu actually makes a mistake there. He issued the attack order way too early, prior to the sluggers getting into melee, so they started shooting their sluggers, which are the pistols, if you didn't know, at the IST, and that made it, well, it revealed them. So it gave Flynn a long time to retreat. If he waited for them to cap the point, waited to get point blank and then issued the attack, that could have very, very easily been a killed squad of IST. And that would have been quite impactful, actually, because it would have really hurt Flynn's capping. So Attack Buster is going to get some damage onto the Las Rhino, but the Librarian here, no doubt, is going to be able to tie them up. Nope, he's messing around. He's turning away. This is rather odd. Here comes a Sanctuary. Will at least stop the Tank Busters from chasing any further. But suppression, baby. Strike Squad taking huge amounts of damage here, but the Terminator Librarian doesn't give a damn. He doesn't get suppressed. He's going to tie up the beamy looter, but wow, a lot of damage coming into the Strike Squad here. Zombo's jumping into retreat. Can he get the retreat kill? He does. Wow. This is not looking good for Flynn. Does have quite a stockpile of resources, but as does Fufu. And the last Rhino just all the way back at base now, getting repaired, totally deterred. Flynn dropping down the Canticles of Absolution here, but it seems extremely weird because, well, there's no one here to help. Nothing can deal with the Death Dread. Quite a large waste of money, I would say. Gretchen's now arriving for Fufu. They're going to be able to help repair the Dreadnought. The Dreadnought? Oh, I guess it's an Orc Dreadnought. Death Dread. But, yeah, so that's going to enable the Sluggers to run around and do what they want, capping on the sidelines, which is nice. Fufu going to go tier 3, and Flynn is going to go for a Grey Knight Dreadnought. Okay. Yeah, alright, fine. I feel like Flynn is not committing with all of his units simultaneously, and it's really hurting him. So with the Las Rhino and the Grey Knight Dreadnought, he has potential to win these fights. He just needs to yeet the Brocap and the Librarian into the Busters. But I feel like every time he's fighting, like, look at this again, he's only got 2 units. Where's the Las Rhino? Why is the Las Rhino running across here, not engaging simultaneous to the Grey Knight Dreadnought? Okay, now we've got Beamy Def Guns coming up. That was quite a chunk of damage right there. Unfortunately for Flynn, only one of the Beamies hitting. Now he's getting a Vindicator. Holy shit. You know, if Fufu just gets some knobs, he should win this then. Oh yeah, and he's tier 3 with Commando Knob, so now he can get the rocket launcher. And as you can see, that thing does some serious damage to vehicles. Say what you will about the Commando Knob's capabilities for AV in tier 2, he has no problems in tier 3. Yeah, I think Flynn's quite screwed here. The Dreadnought, of course, would easily defeat the Death Dread 1v1, but he's getting shot in the arse by a beamy looter. Keck. Death Dread sink killing the Grey Knight Dreadnought, and a Vindicator hits the Death Dread as it tries to flee right in the spine with a Turbo Penetrator round and fells it. But I really don't know how Flynn could ever win this, to be honest. I don't know why Fufu's going for a looted tank. Well, I guess it helps with the map control. Just yeet it down this side constantly. Sluggers, of course, should be capping. But honestly, all he needs is knobs. Get them leveled up nice and early. Get the snowball rolling. Just ignore them. Just ignore the IST. They don't do any damage. They're terrible at this point. They've got no upgrades. Needs to get onto the VPs though. In spite of the time in the game, there is actually a serious lack of power for Flynn, which is quite odd. Normally this late in the game you would expect quite a surplus of power. In fact, for both players, and I feel like Fufu didn't even really lose any gens, so he's called in commandos now too. I really don't like the commando choice. That seems very odd. I don't get that at all. Why? Why? Why commandos? What does he fear? Does he really fear Vortimer Razorbacks that much? I mean, the threat here surely is Grey Knight Terminators. That would be the threat with a side-mounted Psy-Cannon to hunt down the looted tank, right? I would have thought that would be the threat. So I wouldn't want commandos who only have piercing guns. I'd want knobs to be able to tango with them quite well. In combination with sluggers and storm boys, you're just going to overwhelm them. You've got so much more melee DPS. And then you've still got the looted tank, which can go down the other side of the map. Does get annoyed by the Vindicare, but yeah, you've got an infiltrating K-Nob, you've got the storm boys, you can deal with the Vindicare. I feel like the K-Nob's really failed to apply pressure to the IST. He should constantly be hunting them. With the high explosive shells, he could probably near one-shot them. As I've said before, with the stick bombers, he can one-shot them. And if you use it from close range, then you basically guarantee that by reducing the spread as well as giving the opponent less time to react. Now we've got all the gen farm here for Flynn getting destroyed. Fufu down to 100 VPs. How the hell has he managed to lose all his VPs? It feels like he's been ahead for ages. Flynn dropping gens down on his secondary natural, but there's commandos now to bash it. His choice is going to be the Warhammer Razorback, so... well, I guess the commandos were pretty fine, right? Pick up a knob on the commando squad and you've got another 3 tank busters, basically. I would not be going for a Warhammer Razorback. You've already seen he's got the rocket launcher. Even if he didn't already buy it, you know he can buy it because he's tier 3 as an orc, and there's busters on the field, there's a tank, there's potential rocket on the commando squad, and then there's the commando knob with a rocket. Nah. Warhammer Razorback should die very fast. But we'll see. We'll see. I've seen Warhammer Razorbacks do some pretty incredible things. Commando's probably going to run to the garrison. Yeah. Going to hide away in there. And so the Grey Knight Librarian must retreat. Got a conversion beamer in the center here. This is basically an auto Malleus las cannon. Does slightly less damage than a las cannon at medium range. Does slightly more at max. But I don't know, man. 2-0 cap in favor of Fufu. Can Flynn get onto the VPs? I'm not sure. The Vindicare right now actually getting beaten in range by tank busters somehow. I don't know what's going on there. IST need to get onto the cap. Stop shooting. Oh, the Warhammer got cancelled. I mean, it makes sense. Oh shit, there's a beamy looter as well. I forgot. Yeah, okay. Warhammer's not going to do anything. There's so much AV potential for the orcs right now. Beamy looter, rocket on the commando hero, rocket on the commando squad, tank buster squad, and a looted tank. And now he's trying to buy it again. What? Flynn. Indecision kills you in Dawn of War 2. He is only bleeding VPs and his time is dissipating. And now Fufu is memeing on him, doing grappling hook into kabooms, which he actually landed really beautifully there. It's quite a hard skill shot, and look at the HP on the purgation as a result of that, and the distribution of their models. Quite hilarious. Can we get a high explosive shells onto the IST, please? Let's see how much this does. Oh, I told you! Basically one-shots, and then a little jab with a shotgun to the abdomen, and pop goes the final IST. He should have been doing that all game as well, by the way. I don't know why it took so long to get to the point where we're seeing the K-Nob gibbing the IST. The IST squad are so squishy with no detection. It's definitely one of the few advantages that you have as a K-Nob in this matchup. You've really got to be exploiting it. No VPs left here. This is going to be the victory for Fufu, I think, anyway. Well, looks like the looted tank's probably going to get killed right now. It's not moving, and it's getting shot by turbo penetrator rounds from the Vindicare and the Warhammer Razorback. A Bomber Boys valiantly kamikazes himself into the brother captain, takes him out. Oh, there's no time to cap the VPs. Yeah, Fufu was just stalling. Fair enough, and he had knobs coming up. Yeah, I don't know. Indecision, pretty painful. Needed units out in the field sooner. Obviously, it would have been better, I think, to go for Terminators, but there you go. That's going to be all from me today. I've got Discord pings. I don't know if you can hear it. It is what it is. I am done now. Fortuitously, that's going to be all for you, boy Torpid. I'm signing out. Goodbye. Fuck that one up.